This ant definitely hasn't eaten anything good. Just one bite of sugar cube. It exploded straight into a flood of power. The production skyrocketed. The staff on site were dumbfounded. A red ant spy from a distance notices the incident. He rushed back to his base camp and told the red ant queen what he'd seen. The red ants and black ants used to live together in peace, but in order to grow their own race, they had to fight for the candy. The red queen spins her fat body. Then, with a command, she gathered an army of red ants. They set off for the Black Ant Kingdom. The army is huge. It's a spectacular sight. When they arrived, they surrounded the Black Ants' castle, and the Black Ants have noticed that something is wrong. The red ants are ready to fight. They have set up stone throwers. They've even brought chemical weapons to kill insects. At the command of the Red Ant General, the first attack has begun. First they launch their first long-range attack on the Black Ant Kingdom. Using slingshots, they shoot stones at the Black Ant Castle. Oh my goodness! The entire Black Ant Kingdom is pockmarked with holes. Then they launched a whole box of toothpicks. The toothpicks scattered in the air. They became countless arrows falling from the sky. Luckily, the black ants are nimble enough. They dodged the deadly attack. The army of black ants immediately counterattacked. They lift up a box of cotton swabs and throw them down from above, but it didn't do much damage. Only a few enemies were killed. At this point, the black ant army brought out another box of effervescent tablets. I never thought ants would know how to use chemical weapons. The red ants were instantly crushed when they couldn't avoid it. The tablets become a moat to stop the red ants from attacking the city. Then a capsule is poured down and sprinkled with pretzel salt. The red ants are not to be trifled with either. They launch a huge iron ball that smashes right through the Black Ant Kingdom. The queen called an emergency meeting. This time the red ants didn't get the candy. They're not going to let up. To defend against the red ants, General Black Ant proposed a missile attack. Then, with the queen's approval, they found in the warehouse a box of matches and a pile of firework missiles. The ants placed the missiles in an orderly fashion on top of the tower. Then they aimed them at the red ant army. The red ants are now trying to break down the gates with pine cones. This red ant general is shouting from his position, "This time we will destroy all the black ants." When everything is ready, a group of black ants are gathered around a matchbox but don't know how to use it. The black ant general is in a frenzy. A small black ant pushes open the matchbox. There was still one match left inside. After studying the instructions carefully, the ant general takes the match in his mouth. He stood on the top of the matchbox and rubbed it. It finally ignites. At the sight of this, the red ants were so frightened that they stepped back. Then the black ant ignited a firework missile. With a loud bang, as the red ants watched, the missile made a beautiful arc in the air. It spun 18 times in the air. The firework landed firmly in the red ant army and exploded, causing countless deaths and injuries to the red ants. Just as the black ants were about to light a second match, the match had already gone out. When the red ant general saw that there was no movement on the other side, the red ant army is ordered to attack even harder. They go all out. In the face of the red ants wheeling and dealing, the black ants are unable to fight back. They are in a state of desperation. While the black ants are in disarray, the little ladybird suddenly remembered that there was a box of matches in the forest. He told the black ant general about it. Then they brought in a $100 bill and folded it into a paper plane. The little ladybird sat on it and flew. The red ants see this and start spraying insecticide on the ladybird, but it was able to avoid it easily. Just as the paper plane was about to land, the ladybug opened its wings and flew up. The black ants looked at the back of the little ladybug, hoping that it will return soon, for the life and death of the Black Ant Kingdom depends on it. On the other side, the little ladybug stumbles over the hills and mountains, and when he gets hungry, he eats something to refuel. Finally it arrives at its destination and finds the box of matches. Just as he's about to lift it up and take off, there's an insect bigger than him in the distance. It was a spider. It picked up the matches and carried them home. The little ladybird could only follow behind in silence. By now it was getting dark. The black ants are running out of food. They can only pin their hopes on the little ladybird. The spider carried the matches back to the cottage. The little ladybird is brave enough to follow. Suddenly a frog sticks out its tongue and grabs the little ladybird, and accidentally pulled down the spider's cottage too, and the frog got what it deserved. The little ladybird fell into a coma. When he woke up, he found that the spider had saved him. The kind spider even served him a delicious meal. The little ladybird quickly regained his strength. He told the spider that he had come for the matches. There was no time to explain. The little ladybird picked up the matches and flew away. Halfway through the journey, the little ladybird finds some flies bullying a female ladybird. The righteous little ladybird bravely went up and shouted, "Let go of the girl." 5 flies were instantly enraged by the ladybird, chasing it into an aerial battle. After a bit of speed and excitement, the spider thought it was about to have a feast. But then, the new home is about to be redecorated. The little ladybird leads them to the road. When an oncoming car comes along, the ladybird drifts and dodges it. The fly family is not so lucky. The little ladybird was so happy with his victory. He sings a song all the way back to his companion. He told the mother ladybird, now he has to go and save the Black Ant Kingdom. The mother ladybug must wait for her here. Then the little ladybug carried the matches and went on his way. By now the army of red ants are still attacking the castle. They fought from day to night. The Black Ant Kingdom is in tatters, and that's when the little ladybird returns with the matches after a long and dangerous journey. Now the Black Ant Kingdom was saved. The black ants thanked the little ladybug. Then they lit all the matches. When the red ants saw this, they thought, this is bad. The black ants lit all the firework missiles. Oh my goodness. They went up in the air like rockets and landed in the red ant army, causing a huge explosion. The red ants are faced with such a powerful weapon, they were blown away. Even the insect repellent has been detonated. The army of red ants were scattered. Luckily, they ran fast, otherwise, they would have been burned to the ground. The battle for the candy was won by the black ants. A few days later, after a lot of hard work, the black ants rebuilt their home again. The little ladybird said goodbye to its friends. Then he found the mother ladybird, and married the one he loved, and gave birth to 5 lovely little ladybugs.